A new story involving the British royal family is attracting attention. According to the claims in the original script, Catherine, Princess of Wales, may be given an important role during the opening reception at Windsor Castle on October 1st, 2026. If this arrangement goes ahead, it would not simply be a normal change in protocol. The reason is Catherine's possible position in the opening receiving line. According to the script, the proposed order would place King Charles first, Catherine second, and Prince William third, while Queen Camilla would join the program later. This is where questions are beginning to emerge. At a major royal event, who stands beside whom is not always just about a few minutes of ceremony. The image created in front of cameras can itself send a message. However, one point needs to be made clear. The original script mentions alleged planning documents, private meetings, and conversations within the royal family, but these details have not been independently confirmed. Therefore, they should be treated as claims made in the report, not as established facts. According to the script, discussions about this arrangement began in August 2026 at Balmoral. It claims that preparations for the upcoming Windsor Castle reception were being discussed there. During those discussions, the proposal to give Catherine an important opening role alongside King Charles reportedly came forward. This would not mean that Catherine was receiving a new royal title. Queen Camilla's position would not automatically change because of this arrangement. But if the plan goes ahead, it could be seen as an important step toward preparing Catherine for greater royal responsibilities in the future. And that leads to the biggest question. Is this simply an arrangement for one event, or is it part of preparing Catherine for future responsibilities? That is the question at the center of this story. To understand this story, we need to look at the role Catherine and Prince William have already played at several major royal events. The original script claims that during some important foreign visits and state visits, William and Catherine have taken part in welcoming guests. On those occasions, they greeted important visitors before King Charles and Queen Camilla took over the main formal welcome. So this role would not be completely new for Catherine, but the proposed October reception would be different. According to the script, this time Catherine could have a more prominent role in the opening receiving line alongside King Charles. The script says that Prince William has wanted Catherine to take on a more visible and active role in royal duties for some time. The reason given is that when William eventually becomes king, Catherine will also have to carry greater royal responsibilities. There will still be foreign leaders to welcome, diplomatic events to attend, and major royal ceremonies to handle. All of these responsibilities require experience, and that is why giving Catherine more responsibility now could be seen as preparation for the future. But this proposal also raises an important question. If Catherine stands alongside King Charles during the opening welcome, what message will that image send? If the first official image shows Charles with Catherine and William, while Camilla is not part of that opening frame, different people could interpret the picture in different ways. Some may see it as preparation for future responsibilities. Others may see it simply as a change in event protocol. So, the same image could have very different meanings. The script also claims that Catherine herself was not completely comfortable with the proposed change. She was reportedly concerned about how the cameras and the public might interpret her new role. Because within the royal family, even a single photograph can become the subject of major public discussion. And this is where another important question comes in. If Catherine is given greater responsibility, what will Camilla's role be? That question is what makes the entire proposal even more sensitive. And in the next part, we look at the issue that could turn this from a simple event arrangement into something much bigger. Now we come to the most sensitive part of the story, Queen Camilla's role. The original script claims that after the proposed arrangement became known, Camilla faced a question. If Catherine stands alongside King Charles during the opening welcome, what message could that image send? One point needs to be made clear again. The script describes an alleged private conversation between Camilla and King Charles, but that conversation has not been independently confirmed. Therefore, it should be treated as a claim in the report, not as a confirmed fact. According to the claim, Camilla's concern was not about Catherine receiving a new title. Camilla's position would not change because of this arrangement, and she would continue carrying out her official duties as queen.
The main concern was reportedly about the symbolism of the image. At a major royal event, who stands beside the king during the opening welcome can be important in the eyes of the public. If the opening image shows Charles with Catherine and William, while Camilla joins the event later, some people may see it as a sign that Catherine is being prepared for greater responsibilities in the future. Others may simply see it as a normal change in event arrangements. So, one photograph could lead to many different interpretations. According to the script, this is why questions were raised about whether giving Catherine more responsibility was actually part of preparing her for the future. Because when William eventually becomes king, Catherine's role could also become more important. But the reported reaction from Catherine is also an important part of the story. The script claims that she did not respond to the change with excitement. Instead, she was reportedly cautious and wanted to make sure that the change did not create the impression that Camilla's role was being reduced. If that claim is accurate, it changes the angle of the story. It would not simply be a story about competition between two royal women. It would also raise a bigger question about how the British monarchy is preparing the next generation for future responsibilities. However, it would be too early to say that the October event will actually begin any permanent change. The real significance may come from what happens after the event. And this is where the original script makes another important claim, that an alleged planning brief included a reference to reviewing the arrangement after the reception. If such a document actually exists, and if it means what the script claims, then the October event could be viewed as more than just one evening ceremony. It could be an opportunity to assess how the new arrangement works. But will there really be such a test? And if Catherine's role is reviewed, what could happen afterward? That is the biggest question at the center of this story. Now we come to the part of the story that has attracted the most attention. The original script claims that an alleged planning brief for the Windsor Castle reception included an indication that the arrangement would be reviewed after the event. If this information is correct, it could mean that the October 1st reception is not being viewed simply as a normal royal event. It could also be an opportunity to assess Catherine's newer role. But this point also needs to be treated carefully. Without public verification of the alleged document, it would not be correct to say that the palace has officially planned a test for Catherine. According to the script, however, the arrangement could be reviewed after the reception to see how well it worked. Could Catherine handle the opening welcome comfortably? Could the event take place without any problems with royal protocol? And most importantly, could this type of arrangement be used again in the future? These are the questions that make the alleged review an important part of the story. If the new arrangement works well, William and Catherine could potentially be given similar responsibilities at future events. But if it creates confusion or raises questions about royal protocol, the palace could also change its approach. Camilla's position remains important in this situation. Her title and official position would not automatically change because of this arrangement. But if Catherine continues to receive more visible responsibilities in the future, the way the public sees the division of duties within the royal family could gradually change. That is an important distinction. Changing a title is one thing. Gradually changing responsibilities is another. The original script focuses on this possible shift. However, it is still too early to say what will actually happen after the October reception. Until official information comes from the palace, claims about private conversations, alleged documents, and future plans should be treated with caution. For now, the key point is that if the proposed arrangement takes place, the October 1st reception could become an event watched closely by royal observers and the media. Because people will not only be watching where everyone stands, they will also be watching what the palace does afterward. Will Catherine's new role continue? Or will it remain a one-time arrangement for a single event? And that brings us to the final question. Could putting all four senior royals together avoid the controversy? Or could the October reception become a sign of changing royal responsibilities in the future? Now we come to the final and most important question in this story. If Catherine is given an important role alongside King Charles during the opening welcome, what could the palace do to show her new responsibility while also making Camilla's role clear? According to the original script, one possible solution was to have all four senior members of the royal family together. That would mean King Charles and Queen Camilla standing alongside Prince William and Catherine in the opening photograph. This arrangement could give Catherine an important responsibility while also making Camilla's presence and role clear in the image. However, it is important to remember that this is also a proposal described in the original script. It should not be presented as a final or official decision unless the palace confirms it. Looking at the whole story, the main issue is not about removing one royal family member or giving another person a new title. The issue is about the gradual change in responsibilities. Prince William and Catherine have already carried out important duties at several public and diplomatic events. As William eventually becomes king, their responsibilities could become even more important. That is why giving Catherine more experience now could be seen as preparation for the future. But this does not mean that Queen Camilla's role is ending or that her position is changing. That is the point that needs the most careful attention. Claims about private meetings, planning documents, and personal conversations within the royal family should not be presented as confirmed news unless they are independently verified. So, for now, the safest conclusion is this. If the proposed arrangement takes place at the Windsor reception on October 1st, 2026, it could be another example of Catherine taking on greater public responsibilities. And if the arrangement is actually reviewed afterward, and Catherine continues to receive similar responsibilities at future events, it could be seen as a sign of a gradual change in how royal duties are being shared. But the final answer will not come from a photograph alone. It will come from the official arrangements and what happens afterward. So the question remains open. Will this simply be a new arrangement for one evening, or could it mark the beginning of greater royal responsibilities for the future? The answer will only become clear through the October event and the official developments that follow.
So, after looking at the whole story, the biggest question is this. Is giving Catherine more responsibility simply part of a normal royal event? Or could it be a sign that she is being prepared for greater responsibilities in the future? For now, the claims in this story should be treated carefully. Any alleged private conversation or planning document should not be considered confirmed unless official or independent evidence becomes available. But if Catherine continues to receive more important royal duties in the future, it will certainly be worth watching how responsibilities within the British monarchy gradually develop. And now, we want to know your opinion. Do you think Catherine should be given more important royal duties now? Or do you think changes in these responsibilities should happen more slowly and carefully? And if you look at this whole situation through the image alone, what do you think would be better, having all four senior royals together, or giving Catherine a more prominent role? Share your opinion in the comment section. Your view may also help other viewers see a different side of the story. If you like the way we present these stories, without simply making them sensational, but by looking at the different sides of the issue, then like this video and follow or subscribe to our page or channel for more stories and updates about the royal family. And if you think someone else might find this story interesting, feel free to share this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next story.